You are listening to the Todd Harris Author Podcast. My name is Richard Byers and I'm in the host seat today, interviewing my good friend and usual host of this podcast, Todd Harris. So last time Todd interviewed myself regarding a lot of my work and background as both a musician and photographer, and really how we came about working together on this collaborative project which you got to hear about last time. And today I get the chance to turn things around and ask Todd a little bit more about himself and his work. We've known each other for a fair number of years now, but it's like many things, when you work together you often don't know a lot about the background of someone's work and life and how they came to working in the area that you met them in. So I'm really eager to hear a little bit more about your background, Todd, and how you came to be writing your first novel, which is entitled Out of the Cradle. I know from our work together that the novel's been through several reimaginings, from its concept ideas to be fleshed out as a copy that we're both working from now. And I think it's usual with the artistic process that a project never really ends up being exactly like its first concept ideas. It's certainly something that I've noticed in my own projects as a solo artist. So can you tell us a little bit more about the various creative stages of the novel, from the first ideas and inspirations, and all the way through to where we find ourselves now?
Hello, Richard. It's great to see you and be able to be on the show again with you. This time I'm the one in the hot seat, as you're the one asking the questions, which I find great because it's a new thing for me. I'm normally the one who hosts the shows, and now I get to sit back and answer the questions, which is, it's pretty cool. So, you asked me about my concept for this novel that I'm currently writing, which it's interesting because I actually didn't know how I was going to answer this question when I listened to your questions, this first one especially, because I actually don't know how I came up with this idea. It was partly had something to do, though, with a podcast that I was working on. A few months ago, I was wrapping up an episode that was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, and I was going through some different papers that I had on H.P. Lovecraft. There were some things that I had saved on my hard drive, and when I was going through those papers, I stumbled across an old short story that I wrote in college back in 2019 called Out of the Cradle. And I was kind of, it was kind of strange because I said, well, what the hell is this? I didn't remember writing this, and it's just one of those things, you know, it's, you forget sometimes. There's so many things that I have going on at any given time. You know, I'm always doing something, whether it's photography or it's writing something or, I don't know, just, I'm always doing something artistically. So it was something that just fell by the wayside. And it was interesting to me because I forgot about it. And then I read through it, and then I was pissed off after I read it because I was like, why didn't I do anything with this? So I immediately started thinking about what I could do to expand on the idea of the short story. That's where it came from in the beginning.
That's really fascinating there. Thanks for sharing those insights with us, Todd. I'm sure your listeners, as well as myself, will be really eager to hear the snippets and teasers that we're planning to release over the coming weeks. Of course, working on them, I've already personally heard them, but you never get to hear the outside perspective as an artist. And when you do get the chance, I think it's a great feeling to hear and see your work from the other side, so to speak. So I know we've got a lot of similar bases as artists, and we share a lot of similar inspirations and influences. And you yourself have a good number of artistic disciplines under your belt, from literature to photography. But I'm really interested to hear when exactly you decided to go down the author route. and really how it's working out for you compared to any previous projects you've worked on. I know from my own experience doing new projects, it's always a mixture between excitement and tension, which can definitely produce some interesting results, but initially I think it's quite a difficult transition from working in sort of your comfort zone and what you're used with to where something's all new and it's fresh and it's sort of uncharted territory. But it's definitely, I think you'll agree, worth it in the end to push yourself artistically. So tell us a little bit about your thoughts on how doing this new project is working for you and how it just generally feels.
You know what, Richard? That's a very good question. I started writing this book in September of last year, and then you and I started working on an album not too long after. So between the writing and then also I've been going to a recording studio to lay down the vocals for the album, and then also writing additional chapters after I've sent you the ones that we were going to consider for this record. It's interesting because it's two separate projects, but it's the same idea. And that really intrigues me. And the thought of it, though, the thought of, I'm doing an album and a book of the same story. I'm not sure if there's too many people that have done that. And if so, I wonder if they feel the same way that I do. The sense of discovery, the sense of excitement that goes along with something like this. That's the feeling that I get every day that I get to do this, especially working with someone of your caliber. I just feel so lucky that I was able to get this opportunity, and I just hope that more people give it a chance. They actually listen to it. Because, there's a tendency when you put things out on the internet or elsewhere that sometimes people don't understand what it is you're trying to do. Even if you explain it, they still don't understand. So I hope that with this project that we're pretty straightforward about what it is we're attempting to do. And what that is this is a project between, the both of us, where you're doing the music and I'm sending you pieces of the book in progress. And what happens after that is that basically what you end up with is fragments of a story, but it's a recording, not a book. So it's a different way to experience the story. And I feel that it's a really great way to experience it. The book is a format where someone who loves to read can sit down and read the whole thing and absorb it as, much as they want to. And, it has the chapters and it flows. Whereas with this project between us, it is more scattered. The chapters are not all in order. We're presenting people a kind of window into the world that I'm currently creating.
That's great, Todd. Thank you. So is there anything you'd like to tell our listeners this episode that you're particularly excited about what's upcoming? I know, as I said, we have a fair number of teasers in the works, so I think it would be great to give everyone a good idea what to look out for.
Actually, what we have is something coming up this month in April Fool's Day. The premiere of the animated video for the first single, Bug Boy. This is the first time that I've ever done an animated video for something that I've written and recorded, so it's pretty exciting. And then immediately following the release of the animated video, the single for Bug Boy will drop at the same time via Bandcamp. Now, the animated video is only 6 minutes in length, and the single is 12 minutes. I decided to split those two up so the video could be watched by as many people as possible. And those who are interested in the single can stream it or buy it off of Bandcamp. And then coming not in the too distant future will be the release of the album. And you and I should be able to meet before that to do this again. And it's just exciting all around. There's so much great stuff happening, and I feel so fortunate to be a part of this. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you so much, Todd, and thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. As always, there is much more to come, so please keep an eye out for all the exciting news and updates, and of course the teasers that are coming up, and we will both look forward to talking next time on the Todd Harris Author Podcast.